and gals, and welcome to the Monday, September 18th episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I actually had yesterday off. Believe it or not, let me fix this right here. There's too much of my big bald head showing up there. I actually had yesterday off. I couldn't believe it. Blew me away. My phone didn't ring once. Of course, I got to work all week, but hey, weekends off, never a bad thing. Like I said, hope you guys all had a good weekend. Good morning, Templar. Good to see you, my friend. Love and light to you as well. Oh, looks like we got five in here. Hey, Deb. Kind of here with an upset stomach. Better be careful. I hear there's a new variant that's peeking out. There's been 3 or 4 people here in town that's got real bad sick. Of course, there's a new variant of the flu also this year. So, it's actually put a few people in hospital. Good morning, Ty. Good morning, Stephen. Good to see you. You know, it's funny, I mentioned having yesterday off, but when you work harder at home than you do on your job, is it seriously, is it seriously a day off? I, I don't know. I'm guessing it still counts, but I don't know. But anyway, enough with me. Like I said, hope you guys all had a great weekend. I know Tyler did. He got the fun and giggles of playing Bill Hickok down in Missouri on Friday or Saturday I think it was. If you guys watched that last video from yesterday, there was a little snippet of. Wait, when was that? I think I might be getting my days confused. Yeah, it was yesterday's video. A little snippet of him sitting there holding his long gun with his big shaggy mustache and his long, pretty curly hair. Dad, what's going around? I had it last week. Morning, Buck. Good to see you. Ben. Good. Well, I would say good day to you, but you're in Australia, so your day's pretty much over. It's what, midnight? 11 o'clock, midnight in Australia right now. Friday night and all day Saturday. Okay, that's what it was. Well, hopefully, Tyler and Brenna got some good footage of the festival, of him doing the Wild Bill thing, and they'll be putting up a video on his channel real soon. 9:34. So wait a second. 8, 9. That's 12. That's 13 hours difference. So does Australia have different time zones then like America does? Or is all of Australia on one time zone? Because I know the other day we were talking to one of the guests in here on the live stream, and they were 15 hours ahead of us. We have different Okay, all right. That explains it then. That explains it then. Oh, but man alive. Busy day yesterday. I tried to completely gut and clean the house. Today I'm actually going to work on setting some of the fence that I'm putting across the back of the property. Hopefully here sometime real soon. Um, we'll be able to get some kind of a garage or a carport put up before the snow falls, so the wife won't have to park out in the snow anymore. Um, I think it might be the meds. Huh. I hear coffee. Yep, there's coffee right, just right over here. The percolator is a percolating. I mean, what would morning coffee and chat be without fresh coffee? I mean, seriously. Morning, Tony. Good to see you, bud. Yeah, I was starting to say morning coffee and chat with no coffee would just be a very sleepy chat or a very grumpy chat. I'm not really sure. One or the other. Get that thing out of my face. Ain't Pornhub. Or in my case, pissed off. Yeah, I'd be pissed off chat. I'm going through pictures and videos. The president of the Chamber of Commerce is supposed to send me some of the pictures and videos she took also. Very cool. Oh, it's like I've said, hopefully next year when they roll it around, I might be able to join you for it. I'll be filming the whole bloody thing. So I'll uh, I'll set Brenna up with a film a recording gaff where she can hold multiple cameras and film everything. So good morning, Sarah. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well this morning. It was really nice, though, Tyler, that um, they're cooperating so well with you. I mean, you just made a short drive. Compared to me coming out, going to be like a 6.5 hour drive or a 6.5 hour trip. Won't be a drive because I can't drive. I'll have to take the bus out or something. But it's still going to be very interesting. Hi there, Sarah. How are you, woman? Oh, man alive, man alive, man alive. Um, oh, Tyler, wanted to let you know too, on the weekend of my birthday, which is the weekend of Mooresville, we might have to make a day trip to Mooresville on Sunday and just uh, just do a walkthrough and a hello and a filming thing. Um, we've got other things. Our very last Rock the Block is that weekend, and it's going to be the big Halloween one. And of course, I always take advantage of that one. This one here is actually going to be at the fairgrounds. It's supposed to be huge. They've got some very big local bands coming in for that one. And you know how I always try to outdo my previous year Halloween the following year. Well, this year I'm actually building the Jeepers Creepers mask and bodysuit and everything. So I will be doing um, the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers, both at the um, October Rock the Block and Halloween night, escorting my daughter around. So luckily, I was able to dig out my liquid latex, and it's still in good shape. So just need to get my hands on the paint that I need for the mask. But I will be building the mask from scratch. Um, 2 more weeks till Mooresville. Now, wait a second. Mooresville, I was told Mooresville was the 6th, 7th, and 8th of October. Because our fall festival that I do with the Historic Commission here in town is the first weekend of October. And then Mooresville was supposed to be the second weekend of October. Hi, Mark, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Ain't got ahead of yourself. I'm really kind of hoping you can come out in your sharpshooter outfit and join us at the fall festival. I guess Darren, the vice president of the Historic Commission, is he's hooked up with one of the batteries um, from here in Michigan. Um, he was up at Hastings this year with them, and they're going to come out. Or members are supposed to come out and set up at the fall festival. So our little one tent recruiting station that we had last year is going to become an encampment this year, somewhat of an encampment. If we can get the horse-drawn carriages and stuff rerouted away from the woods, hopefully here in the near future, it's going to turn into a full encampment with Union and Confederate camps. So that's the plan. Mooresville rings a bell. Wait a second. Let me get back up here. Mooresville, North Carolina. No, Mooresville, Michigan. Mooresville is not actually a town. I've explained this before. Let me touch on it again real quick. Not very far southeast of Holland, Michigan, is a horse ranch, and the Moors own it. Well, they had a large section of the ranch where they didn't do much with the horses, so they started building a 19th century town. They've got one, two, three, four. I think they got 4 log cabins built. Then they've got an old 19th century church built, and they just call that Mooresville. Also, because you have, well, up until this year when Captain Bob's father-in-law passed away, you had mom and dad, and then you had Captain Bob and his wife, then you had their son and daughter, then you had the sister and brother-in-law, then you had the other sister. So they're all like within mm, a quarter mile of each other. So that whole area was just called Mooresville. So now they just refer to it as the Mooresville Civil War event. October 10th, and your boy dog gets neutered. October 10th, my son turns 15. 2 days after I turn um, 25. Kind of, sort of. But getting back to what I was saying about the rock the block, we always hold them down at the beach, but because it got so big last year, they wanted areas for a main stage and stuff like that, um, to do the costume contests and to have the bands playing a much bigger stage than they have down at the beach. So that's definitely going to be a hell of a show. P.S. Dump Your Boyfriend, and I can't remember the other band that's playing. Hey, Chad. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well today. 68 and cloudy today. That's my kind of factory working weather. Yep. Yep. Supposed to be cool here today, too. Even way down here where I'm at. I think I seen earlier 65. Let's see here. Nope, they're calling for 68 here now. So I think earlier when I got up at 2:30 this morning, I think they were calling for 65. They upped it to 68. So, but yeah, definitely good weather. I mean, fall is definitely here unofficially, but yeah, fall's definitely hit Michigan. I may have Mooresville confused in memory with Clayville, which was the worst display I was ever involved with. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was up at 2:30 this morning, 2:33, I think it was. I was off yesterday, and I tried to catch up on all the things around the house, packing up clothes and stuff to donate to our local helping hands, and vacuuming and cleaning and moving things around. And by 9 o'clock last night, I was doing everything I could to keep my eyes open. And I finally started passing out about 20 minutes after 9, watching TV with the wife. And I moved all my stuff and crawled up in bed, and I was gone about that quick. So that explains why, because normally I don't get in bed till 10 or 10:30 or 11, and I'm up by 4:30. So yeah, I was in bed extra early and got up extra early. But it gave me a chance to get working on tomorrow's video. So, which is going to be pretty interesting. I actually found a video about the Virginia involvement in the Civil War. And for those of you that have been with the channel for a while, um, you guys know that I have a direct connection to Virginia. Not only when my family came from Scotland and England, they settled into Virginia territory, but one of my ancestors sat on the Continental Congress. He was a judge from Virginia, and then in the Civil War, Elmer Ellsworth, the leader of the Zouave unit, was the very first man to die in the Civil War. He was a colonel, and he led his guys across the river to remove a Confederate flag from the top of a hotel. And he was shot by the owner while he was coming back downstairs with the Confederate flag and the rest of his unit. So, Civil War reenactors refer to me as Civil War royalty. I don't see how having an ancestor that was the first man to die makes you anything special, but it's what they say. At Clayville, wait a second. Falling asleep is easy. It's staying asleep. Man, when I fell asleep, I slept straight through. I didn't. As a matter of fact, I was in the same position when I woke up that I fell asleep in. I don't even think I moved last night. Clayville, we were set up different area than the mountain man area, dudes. And it was low ground, 25 or 35 to 40 degrees, 2 inches of rain. We were laying in water, and there's that heart in the way again. Here, hold on a second. I'm gonna raise this thing up where I can read that. We'll just do M. Okay, there we go. Laying in 2 inches, or laying in water, were soaked when we awoke. Go figure. I remember doing an event, God, 24, 25 years ago. They had us in a city park, and the city park was actually a ravine. There were hills all around us. So everybody set up in the ravine where there was available spaces at. They actually had a large bonfire in the center of the ravine, so you had to set up around the edge of the ravine. And it rained on Saturday night, and it came down the hillside so bad through one guy's tent. It actually picked up some of his clothing boxes and stuff and moved them out the front door of his tent. They nicknamed that the Little Crow River. I mean, it literally came down and started moving his shoes and his clothing boxes and stuff out the front door of his tent. If he was not in a cot up off the ground, he probably would have floated out himself. Morning, Brenna. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing good this morning. Good morning, Chris. Glad to see you. Hope you're having a good Monday so far. Morning coffee. Gotta love it. Oh, but not a lot of anything else to report, guys. Working today, working tomorrow, working Wednesday, working Thursday, working Friday, working Saturday, and supposedly off on Sunday. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. They may turn around and have me work on Sunday too. Who knows? At the Clayville event, we were wet for 3 days. I've been to some pretty heavy rain events, man, and all that extra rope and stuff that we bring, and anybody who has extra tent poles or any woods around the area that might have some downed longer sticks, makes for some pretty interesting clotheslines to hang blankets and clothes and shoes and everything else from. See, that was the last event we did. I've never been scared by rain. Now, 80-mile-an-hour winds, torrential thunderstorms, and you're in a little canvas tent, yeah, that tends to make the cockles on the back of your neck stand up a little bit. But I think everybody who reenacts is afraid of, you know, all of a sudden waking up in the middle of the night and seeing the stars when you went to bed you had canvas over your head. First night we got soaked. Night 2 and 3 we slept in the trucks. I've only done that once. I've only done that once, and that was the year that Lee came out here for Mooresville. It rained so bloody hard that it was getting through the waterproofing on the tent. The seams were all leaking and everything else. I mean, Lee was smart. He crawled right up in the back end of his SUV and fell asleep. I crawled up in the passenger seat and just laid it back. I'll never forget that one. With the engines running and the heaters on. That's kind of like I don't touch the tent. I throw a fit when I see somebody touching my canvas. Yeah, you definitely do not want to touch canvas on those primitive tents. The oils in your skin pretty much dissolve the waterproofing. So yeah, you definitely don't know. Oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, out of 33 years of reenacting, I think I've never been rained out of an event. Um, but I've seen some pretty good thunderstorms. We had one of them in Muncie, Indiana, one time. Minnetrista Cultural Center, a microburst came through, and the guys had came in late, and they didn't want to wake anybody up. They had an 18-foot Sioux teepee, and they they got the frame set up and then ran their rope down and staked it in the ground, and that was the only stake they put in. They put their canvas up on it, and they figured the next morning they'd stake it down and everything. And a microburst came through about 3 a.m. and it literally acted like a huge umbrella. They were in there sleeping. That teepee just opened straight up and come right down on top of them. So yeah, that's about the worst one I've seen. And then we had one um, southeastern Indiana one time where a storm came through and took a bunch of people's dining flies and tents and threw them right out in the river. Pulled the stakes, broke ropes, ripped canvas. Stop touching temperature. Yeah, I learned that on an old Coleman pop-up camper right above my face. I tried that theory when I was 8. Yeah. Morning, Squatch. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good this morning. Not only did I get wet, but I got my eyes whooped. Yeah, yeah. Well, you spend all that money on waterproofing and stuff, and then the kid. Well, like when my daughter used to go with me, um, to different events. I caught her laying on her cot multiple times with her legs crossed, and she's tapping her foot on the wall of the tent. while she's laying in bed playing her game or talking on her phone, whatever she's doing. And I don't know how many times, we'd have to. I mean, I literally had to take a charcoal pencil and try to draw a circle on the canvas when it rained.
Come on, honey. I gotta go. God, it's about 1,000,000 degrees in here.
Have a good day.
Jesus H. Christmas. You work today?
Nope.
Okay. Toilet's getting done today then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't say it like that. Let's make that happen. Thank you.
But yeah, it would when it was dry out, I couldn't figure out where I had to waterproof. So when it rained, I had to take a charcoal pencil and try to draw a circle where the water was beating through the wall, so I would know where to brush on the proofing at. I looked in the pub, most don't satisfy me. I saw one on 76 Apache hardside. I'd accept that. Huh. Never been one much on the pop up thing. That's one of the reasons I want to get my cabin done. We could roll that cabin into any campground and you know drop the panels down, drop the front porch down, lift the roof up. You got a solid mini building to sleep in with the wood burning stove and everything else in it. You don't got to worry about canvas. You don't got to worry about sticks falling and ripping through it or anything else. Be able to heat and thing. I'm looking for a stripped ham can, 15-footer. Good morning, Elvis. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. $24 plus camper. The cabin thing is just so much more easier. Instead of laying out the poles, laying out stakes, getting your ropes, replacing ropes every year, constantly waterproofing the canvas, transporting all your bedding, all your clothing, all your cookware, all your food. You get the cabin built, it permanently sits on the trailer, lag bolted to the trailer. You roll in to your campground or your reenactment or whatever. You unhook it from the truck, you get it stabilized, you drop the panels down on all four sides to cover the wheels and the wagon and everything, or the trailer. Drop your front porch down, lift your roof up, put your two support sticks in there, and open the door. You're home. Takes you about 10 minutes to set it up, and everything's already inside and waiting for you. I'm pulling with a V6, so I'll be stripping it bare for a mobile studio. And see, that's kind of my thought too with the cabin, is that could be a mobile studio. I could even use it as a studio here at the house and free up the spare bedroom. So the upkeep on the gear, general workout to it. So I have no interest in the living history encampments. See, that's pretty much my thing, ever since 3 years ago when when that tent of mine got shredded in Niles, Michigan. I just pretty much been grabbing whatever scrap pieces of canvas I can find because I can't afford, $500, $600, $700 for a piece of canvas, a tent. So I just been doing whatever, you know, lean to or stuff like that. Um, at all, at any place that I do primitive camping. So the cabin thing, you know, kind of smart. Not to mention when I go by myself, it's really hard to set up most tents by yourself. Even a pyramid or even a wedge tent. You need somebody to help you stabilize the front and rear poles while you're tightening up the stakes and stuff like that. So, let me see here. Life was really fucking hard in the 1700s if you weren't well to do. It really was. Morning, Gunny. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well this morning. Futon and a cabinet kitchen like pop up. Very light on water use. Dry toilet. Tiny sink. 5-gallon water cooler. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Morning, Jay. Good to see you. Hope you have a good day at work, my friend. Just be careful out there. I ain't worried about your driving. I'm worried about them other idiots on the road. You know, the ones that put a little in their coffee in the morning. Oh, goodness. So let me see here. Next weekend, I got nothing going. So in 2 weeks, um, 2 weeks, we got that wedding I'm officiating. And then the week after that is our fall festival that I'll be camping at, doing the union recruiting tent again. And the weekend after that is both Mooresville and the Rock the Block Halloween special. So it's going to be a busy weekend. Rebuild the styrofoam, structural panels, be the third, be a third the weight it was. Paint the inside in green screen green. Yep, I'm really hating shrinkflation. Then going to the same place, getting the same type of breakfast. They now put in a different shaped container with the same cost, less food. It's amazing how that's happening. That's happening to a lot of places. Um, I've noticed it in our local diners and stuff. The servings are getting smaller and the prices are staying the same. But then again, a lot of places, bars, restaurants, diners, when you get large shipments of food in from like U.S. Foods or Gordon's or something like that, if you plan on surviving or making any kind of a profit, then you either have to jack your prices up or you have to make the servings a little smaller. I mean, you figure a box of French fries, there are 6 bags in a box, and they run, no, there are 8 bags in a box. They run about $100 a box. Um, so, you know, even something like uh, a side order of fries used to be fries. Now it's fries. So you either jack the prices up or make the serving smaller. I don't have a big issue with prices increasing. I have an issue with changing containers to fool people. Hell steak at Walmart, $14.99 a pound. Yep, yep. That's why I was. That's why was real thankful. Um, Last night, one of the customers out at the casino brought my wife a plastic bag full of green beans, and she sat out on the deck Saturday evening popping the ends off green beans, and then last night, put the green beans in a pot with some smoked sausage, some taters and onions, and made one of my favorite throw together meals. So luckily, our local store up until Sunday had their smoked sausage buy two get three free. Potatoes were buy two get three free. So you know it was actually a pretty cheap meal. 11.99 2 3 months ago. Have three side booth style seating with two or three camera angles. I'll install a split air unit sound deadening box on the tongue. Richie, good morning, bud. Hope you're doing well over there on the west side of the lake. Hey, make sure and let me know when it starts to snow over there so I can batten down the hatches over here. Because you guys always get it before we do. My grocery bill this month was 600 and change. Psh, man, I'll tell you what, I'd like to know what it's like to go grocery shopping and not have to worry about coupons and specials. It seems like, every month we have the same amount to spend on groceries. And it seems like every month she brings home less and less and less. It's not going to be very long before we have to start breeding cats just to eat them. Price of cat food's not going up, so you can still fatten them up. I hope people get food. Hungry and good and angry. The cost of every damn thing. Don't forget, come the end of next year. No snow yet. Leaves are changing colors and falling off trees. Ours are starting to too, my friend. Ours are starting to too. The 600 will go 6 to 8 weeks. We usually spend, well, we save a little bit every week. So when she actually goes shopping at the beginning of the month, I think we get to spend a little bit under $300, and that buys, like you said, baggies and storage. She buys the rolls of ground beef and breaks them up and puts them in the storage bags, puts them in the freezer, buys pork loin, cuts them into thirds, puts them in the freezer. So yeah, she buys a couple boxes of gallons freezer bags and meat and side dishes and stuff like that. And you know, how much we get usually depends on who's running the sales, like the buy two get three free and stuff like that. Certain individuals still won't admit they were wrong, even though they're suffering too. That's what's funny about the society we live in. Well, and you got to realize too, Gunny, that those certain individuals that, um, well, somebody's having fun taking their kids to school this morning, gunning the old motors. These are the guys that are making, 100, 200, $250,000 a year and have nice cushy government jobs and stuff like that. And those of us that actually go out and work for a living, um, they don't think about us. That's like being a government official and not paying for your own gasoline or putting it on your government card when you get gas. They jack the gas prices up because we wind up paying for their gas too. So it's no skin off their back. We made a decision 3 months ago. Okay, we're going to eat what we want, no matter the cost. It'd be nice to do that once in a while. Not going political, but I have distant, barely talking family members complaining about groceries. So I tell them you should sell the BLM shirt, buy your supplies. Those shirts aren't worth much anymore, I don't think. I mean, that's the rumor. I don't know. They use a little common sense. Maybe we all wouldn't be in this mess. True that. Well, of course. You have to, Tony. When you have a family coming in, or you have a family, and mom and dad, you guys are working. There's all those hidden costs with having a family, having a vehicle, having a property that could be damaged in a storm or something. You always eat as cheaply as you can, and that way, you have the money needed for other things in life. When the kids are all out of the house and, dad's retired and mom's on the doorstep of retirement, you can kind of splurge on things a little bit. Start to enjoy those things you weren't always able to enjoy. Like you said, go out and eat the things you want regardless of the cost. For us, if we went out and ate some of the things we would really like to eat, we'd be living on ramen noodles for, you know, 2 or 3 days a month. If I keep my daughter's friends out of them when they come over and spend the night, I found that meal prep ahead of time, buying food at Sam's Club in bulk, saves cash. Yeah, it does. It does. I've got Sam's Club nearby. Ours is almost an hour away, about 45 minutes away. Anymore, it's shopping for convenience because like I told you guys before, we have one store here in town. Our nearest other town is 12 miles away, and they have what, 3 stores, but everything's higher price there, kind of, sorta. I mean, if you're gonna get decent food, then you're gonna pay a lot more for it. If you're gonna still live on bologna and things like that, then yeah, we're going out a fair bit more, but found that buying and cooking it, we can eat way better stuff than we could while going out to eat 2 or 3 times a week. Makes sense. I know a lot of people dream about it, but I would really like to get into homesteading, growing vegetables, maybe small amounts of livestock. It's just so damn expensive getting it started. Yeah, it is. It is, you're right, but it is beneficial in the end. Driving an hour once a month can make a big difference. Yep, you are right. You are right. You know, I don't know. I think for my wife, because I don't go shopping with her. You know, she asks me what I want, but before I go to work in the morning, she takes off and goes shopping on her day off. She's only got a certain amount of time, and spending an hour and a half on the road, wasting that gas, um, just to go to Sam's Club where you're paying your monthly membership fee and everything. We were going to go to Costco and look around. Everybody tells us you have to go to Costco. You got to check out Costco. And you're once again 45 minutes away, you know, fighting the traffic, everything else, going to Costco. But then you got to buy the membership if you're going to purchase anything. Uh, you know, she has other things she does on her days off. The question is, does she have that 4 or 5 hours out of a day to spend going shopping when our grocery store is 3 blocks up the road, and that 4 or 5 hours can be an hour? So I don't know. I don't know. My uncle started a very productive hog operation in Coles. Membership. Just buy gift cards. Didn't even know they had gift cards. No one has ever suggested that to us before. You know, we've actually got friends that that work for Costco, and no one's ever told us about gift cards. Wow. Now that's something I'm going to have to look into. I'm making a move back to country family land late next year. I'm going to get out of Dallas, Texas before the election. Yeah, I know everybody's got gift cards, but I was told, I was always told that you could not purchase anything. You could go into Costco and look, but the second you try to buy anything, they ask for your membership card. So that's, you know, was always my knowledge of Costco, is that we were told you could not purchase anything at Costco unless you had a membership. So I mean that's all I knew about it. You can buy Costco cards at Walmart. That doesn't surprise me. My mom used to live in Waxahachie. Waxahachie. Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie. We laid rubber on the Georgia asphalt. Got a little crazy, but we never got caught. Over the past few years, Texas has proved to be too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter. Well, northern Texas, I've never seen Texas too hot. I mean, you know, the whole time I was there, I think the warmest it got was 115. Now, cold, oh, heck yes, it got cold in the wintertime, especially up in the north part of Texas, bellying up against Oklahoma. You know, right there at Wichita Falls, Texas, hell, we had 4.5 feet of snow on the ground. You want to eat good, and deep freezer is the best thing ever buy or rent. Oh, we have a deep freezer. We got a freezer in there, that's for sure. Above 100 degrees is too hot. No, wait. Too fucking hot. Don't mind -20 for a day or two. Yeah, that's what we're looking at this year. That's exactly what we're looking at this year is sub-zero temperatures again. There's there's rumors around the hog barn of it being a very, very cold, very hard winter this year, especially up here in Michigan. So we'll just have to wait and see. Um, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Even power failures are fine. I got solar and 2 generators. Only going to be in the low 70s here this week. Low 50s at night. It's been getting down in the low 50s. A couple times we've got down in the 40s here in the last month or so. Um, but yeah, it's definitely you're definitely starting to feel that autumn chill in the air. That's for sure. I love Texas, I really do. It's just the dang urban areas. Trees are losing their bark from being hugged so much. It's true. It's true. You're right, Gunny. And I will whine and bitch, hooking them up at -20. But such is life. 48 last Tuesday. When I was away here a few weekends ago doing the Michiana Renaissance Fair, Friday night, our first night there, we got down to 48 degrees, and then it was like 55 the next night. But oh yeah, definitely chilly. We couldn't sit close enough to the fire that night before we all went to bed. Now, once I got in bed, got all the covers thrown on me and stuff like that, I was comfy. Getting up to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, that was a whole different story. But as long as you're in bed, you're nice and comfy. As I get older, I can deal with heat better than I used to, up to a point. That point is 94 degrees. I could deal with heat. I can't deal with humidity. It makes it too hard to breathe. There's just too much moisture in the air. It makes it very, very hard on your lungs. Makes it very hard on your heart. If I could get the wife to move, I would move south. Right across the central part of the country, you know, be it Tennessee, be it Missouri, be it Arizona, be it northern or well, can't say northern Texas. We'll say from central Texas northward, Oklahoma, stuff like that. It just the humidity just tears me up. You know, humidity and heat not near as high as cooler temperatures. Yeah, humidity. I knew what you meant. The humidity of 50% in heat is awful. 100% in cool weather is just clammy. Yeah, I know, and I'll never understand how that works. Um, I don't know. I guess the heat penetrating through the water vapor, the humidity vapor, um, definitely much like shining a light through a water drop. You know, makes things so much hotter. But when you've got the cooler temperatures, then all of that water vapor, all of that humidity in the atmosphere cools down. So yeah, it makes it very very clammy, very very cold compared to taking your magnifying glass and using sunlight to set ants on fire. Okay, I have to vent listening to these UAW guys wanting 40% raise over the next 4 years is insane. I'm looking to get 3% maybe this year. Then I see the videos of the guys walking lines, and I'll try. They haven't missed a meal in days. How many F-150s then thing will you sell when they cost $130,000? It's a good point. That's a good point. 40% over the next 4 years. That's unbelievable. I mean, you sit and look at what some of these fellows in the union are making, those that are unionized. They always tend to make better money and stuff than the average working folk. Delivery services and stuff like that, like Jay does. They always tend to get screwed in that deal. But those auto workers and stuff like that. I mean, some of those guys are already making $25, $30 an hour, and they're talking about a 40% increase over the next 4 years. I mean, could you imagine? Think about it. Think about working now, or if you're retired when you were working. What would it have been like to make $20 an hour? What would it have been like to make $18 an hour? And here's these guys talking about 45, 47, $48 an hour. It's the same. It's $15 minimum wage. Gets you $7 or $8 Big Macs. Hey, dog. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well, man. When I retired, I made $12 an hour, and that's what my dad made. That's what my dad made after 40 years on the same job. He was making, I think, $12.50 an hour when he retired. Hell, he didn't have time to work two or three jobs. No, I mean, granted, when he did retire before they moved back south again, um, he was doing, yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. A lot of his customers that didn't want to see him go would call him at home and they would bring their cars out to him to work on at home. That was the saving grace right there, because they still insisted on paying him the same, labor cost. And he argued with them every time. He said, I don't have all the equipment here that they had at the dealership to work on cars. Nope, there ain't going to be no $37 an hour BS labor fee on top of it. And they would always lay money somewhere in the garage before they walked out and got in their car and left. I could think of many times, they'd pay him for the parts and give him just a little bit for his time. And they'd leave, he'd walk out of the garage, walk back into his workbench and find $100 bill laying there, or a couple $100 in labor and stuff like that. He'd have the car all day long. Most places would charge somebody, or yeah, I could think of a couple cars he had, or a couple cars he had for 2 or 3 days. Most of these places be charging $900, $1,000 for labor, and these guys had no problem leaving a $100 bill laying around. Worked on car. Oh yeah, that home mechanic gig would make me $300 to $500 a week. Yeah. Yep, and that's the really cool thing about it. As long as you are a decent mechanic and you've got a good, loyal following of people, you know, you can make decent money doing it. I mean, when I was growing up, there were a lot of shade tree mechanics out there. And a lot of times those guys were better mechanics than the ones you found at the dealerships. But there comes a point when I never wanted to see another wrench. Still to this day, 83 years old. If somebody down there around mom and dad um, needs something done to one of their cars, they'll get a hold of dad. They'll have him look at it, and he'll either say whether or not he can work on it or he can't work on it, but he'll tell them what's wrong with it, so they don't, nobody screws them over when they do take it to the dealership. I worked out in my garage on lawnmower, small engine stuff, $10 an hour at home, $15 at their house. Man, I wish you lived closer. I need somebody that could fix this damn lawnmower of ours so I don't got to go out and buy a brand new mower in the spring. When I retired, I got rid of my entire set of tools, aside from one Stanley tool set. My old man has still got a great big toolbox full of all of his tools. All of his timing lights, everything. He's still got stuck away in that toolbox. And the cool thing about it was that he always took such good care of his stuff. Some of this stuff he's had for 20 years or better, and it still works just fine. I remember my mom would bring a couple bags of McDonald's, McDoubles, and fries home for $20. Now the same thing cost you over $50 at McDonald's. You are right about that, Paul. Good morning, by the way, bud. I was just talking to somebody the other day about that. they were talking about going out to McDonald's and paying $6 a piece for Big Macs and stuff like that. And I said, I remember going on a date 38 years ago, driving the fair lane, and for $20, for $25, I could put gas in the car, get me and my girlfriend into the movie, and stop at McDonald's and grab a couple Big Macs and fries before we went to the movie on $25. Hell, you can't even fill your car up on $25 now. Hell, a lot of places you can't even put half a tank of gas in your car for $25. And when you go to McDonald's and you try to buy, a couple Big Macs and fries and a couple Cokes, right there you're looking at $20. So, or damn close to it, about $18. So yeah, I mean, exactly. Dakota's cost me as much in tools as in repairs. Should have stuck with the Suburban, bud. Should have dodged Dakota. You should have stuck with the Suburban. Goddamn thing I fix. It requires some tool I ain't got. Mechanics won't. A tool. We buy a set. Exactly. Quarter of a tank is maybe $25. Yep. Our gas just hit $3.35 a gallon again. I think the wife filled up her car last week. I think it cost her almost $50. We just put a half a tank in it 2 weeks ago, and it was well. I take that back. I went in to get my cigars, and she told me to put 20 in the gas tank, and it didn't even put us up to a half. So yeah, believe me, I know. I blame the Dakota, but the Suburban is part of it. I sold flame broil burgers all weekend long. $5 for a single, $6 for a double. Got so many repeat customers. Oh, of course. Of course, all of our burgers up at the bar are doubles. Of course, I cheat. If somebody wants onions or bacon or something on their burger, I put enough onions or bacon on the grill that I can put it on both patties and put cheese over the top of it. By the time you get the lettuce and the maters and stuff like that, you're talking about a burger that sits that high out of the basket. The hash shaft nut, one socket set, ball joint requires ball joint press. Yep. Definitely cheaper than McDonald's, man. And be honest with you, I'd much rather eat out of a food wagon like dogs got than I would go to a restaurant. We've got a little place right out here on the edge of town. Um, it's a little Mexican owned food wagon, and every Wednesday night they they roll up out there, and from the time, well, actually before they roll into that parking lot until the time they leave that parking lot, they don't stop. Everybody in town goes out there. We've not had a chance to yet because we've not had the extra money to. But for for $12, you go out there, grab a couple burritos or a bunch of tacos or whatever the case may be, and you go home and you feed your family of three on what two Big Macs will cost you, and you walk away with a full belly. All right, guys, it's about 9:15. I'm gonna make a beeline to the potty room. You guys do your thing. I'll be back in just a second. There we go. Kind of point I was making earlier. Thought he'd never leave. We were not going to McDonald's. We were dropping a lot more money. Quality of food, fast food joints has went down a lot. It really has. Hey, Templar. Good to see you, bud. Yeah, Drew was gone for a second. Good timing, though. Burgers for dinner tonight. That sounds good. We got some potatoes in there. I think I might make some homemade French fries and cook up some double smash burgers tonight. Sounds good. And the wife don't have to cook. We had the antique tractor show this weekend. I double booked on Saturday. We were busy all weekend. Phew. Yeah, we had a car show um, Saturday right here downtown, and I didn't even know about it, which was the funny thing. The wife went to work Saturday morning, and she called me, and because she knew I had to open on Saturday, and she called me when she got up to town. She hadn't even made the turn going out towards work yet, and told me, she goes, "You guys might be busy today." She goes, "There's all kinds of classic cars lining up both sides of the road going all the way through downtown." And I got up there at 10 after 10 and walked right out the front door of the bar, and I looked, and sure enough, there was everything parked out there. They had old sock hop music playing and stuff. So I went back in and turned on the speaker system and everything, and was playing 50s rock, and it was we were busy. We actually opened the doors 15 minutes early, and within 30 seconds of opening the door, I think we had about 23 people come walking in. So, yeah, it was busy. And bourbon and brown sugar baked beans. We've done 120 events since April 1st. Very cool. Damn dog, you should be able to loan us some money. Except for the cost of the stuff that he sells out there compared to what he sells it for, he's got to put every penny he makes back into that damn thing to be able to go for next year. And it's not even time for the festivals to end yet. There's still going to be fall festivals and all kinds of things going on. That's why I look like I'm 90 years old. Well, you know. Morning, Robert. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well today. You don't look like you're 90 years old, dog. You still look amazingly young for the crap you put your body through. So, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because I'm here to tell you Sitting around doing nothing makes you age a lot faster than if you's out doing things. I feel so much better since I was been able to go back to work. Um, Even though it's 110 degrees in that kitchen, and we're roasting alive in that place. Just moving around, constantly in a rush, running out to talk to the customers when things slow down in the kitchen enough that I can get out, you know, interact with them, find out how they like the food. It just, that constant back and forth. I don't feel near as old as I did 6 months ago. I got to go tear down the canopies today and bring home the rest of the stuff. That's what I need to do. I need to get my hands on another canopy. Since that storm destroyed mine a couple months ago, that's something I need to get before next year's another canopy. At least a 10 by 10, maybe even a 12 by 12. The animal control lady told me they looked like they were terribly underfed. I told this to the vet, and he responded, "She's an idiot." We have a dinner up this way, classic cars every weekend. He moved the whole thing up here from Texas. I think you can get discounted if you bring one. Hmm. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I enjoyed having the car group in there. I put on my roadkill, black and white roadkill's classic car shirt, and had on my apron and everything, and we were playing the sock hop music, and I mean people were just crowding in all day long. I mean, it only went from 8 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And believe you me, if you've ever been around a bunch of bike riders when they're all parked at a bar or something like that, and then they all fire up and leave at the same time, that's what it sounded like uptown in our little teeny tiny village on Saturday at 1:01 p.m. I mean, all you heard was up and down both sides of the road, and just all of a sudden, all these cars merged out at the same time, and some went south, some went north, but it was really cool, just hearing and watching all them guys, doing their thing. Well, we had one on July 14th that got destroyed by a tornado. I hit about 800 yards away. West popped back up, landed about 1,200 yards south, and jumped back up and disappeared. Man, yeah, this has definitely not been the year for Michigan. The last couple years, really, with tornadoes and stuff. And it's really funny. It was right around that time, uh, July or so, when we had just ordered the brand new top for my 12 by 12 pop up, and I had it set up out here in the drive because the 12 by 12 top we ordered um, didn't fit it just right. So I had to figure out where I had to stitch it at to make it fit the frame just right. And I had just done the repairs on it. And that night we had a downdraft or something. And the next morning, the wife, when she woke up, she told me, she goes, "Did you see your pop up?" I said, "No, I've not been outside yet." And she told me to go open the back door. And I opened the back door, and there wasn't a straight piece of metal on that old steel frame. It came down, hit the top of it, broke the peak pole off, and just twisted every single piece of metal. Even the square tubing for the legs was twisted. There was. I just grabbed the whole thing and drug it down to the roadside. Somebody threw it up in their truck, but I don't. There was no way to fold it. There was no nothing. You just had to drag it down there as this great big huge spread out octopus. So it was right around that time, right around the middle or so of July when that happened. That's why storm chasing can be dangerous. That and the chasers. Sold my '65 Mustang, my two fastback, a long time ago. 3 years later, was divorced. Should have gotten rid of her then. Sure, my car was worth more. Yeah, 65 fastbacks are kind of scarce. They really are. And I wish I still had my '67 Fairlane. I'm really happy that it's, sitting down in Atlanta in that guy's private collection now. But you don't see very many '67 Ford Fairlane 289s running around. All right, dog. You get your day started and everything, and take care of yourself. Go get that stuff tore down. It should be a cool day for you. So you definitely take your time, get back home, and enjoy your home time, bud. We'll catch you later. Had a '70 Fairlane. I like the old '50 Fairlanes. That had the folding hardtop on them. You flip the little switch and the trunk lid would open up, and this whole top would just sit there and fold up and roll right down in there, and then the lid come back down on it. I always thought those were cool, but I liked my 2-door hardtop. That was a nice car. I hate to think of the cars I wish I had now. '65 Impala, 396, 4-speed, '67 Cougar XR7, '69 Mustang Mach. Always liked the Mach ones. Always liked the Mach ones. My my cousin's best friend had a Mach 1, metallic deep forest green, and boy was that car a screamer. Oh goodness gracious, mine is bright yellow and black. Yep, it's amazing, back in the '80s and '90s, some of the cars, well, let me rephrase that. Back in the '80s and '90s, it didn't matter how ugly the dude was. He always seemed to have the prettiest girls in the passenger seat of that Mach. Women in cars, man. Women in cars. Both of them will get you in trouble if you ain't careful. And if you get them together, you run the risk of losing your soul. Hmm. Bright yellow and black. Bet that was pretty. For you, you had more women in the Cougar. Makes sense. But the question is, did you ever have a cougar in the Cougar? There were 6 or 7 of the 60 to 70 Mustangs locally, only one cougar. Used to have 4 different Mustangs at one time, or another love. Mustangs. That's why the streets of heaven are guarded by us Marines. God drives one. Amen to that. Hoorah. Man, I'll tell you what, you might think that way, Tony, but I don't think I was ever in a bad driving older Ford. So these newer ones you got problems with, but the older driving ones, anything from about 72 back, never had an issue or problem one with anyone I ever drove or rode in. That old Fairlane of mine with that stock 289, um, when my cousin and I actually got one day and raced his 75 Camaro up against my 69 Fairlane, I took his doors off. I took his doors off. My old man knew how to tune a car. But yeah, Mercury made some good cars too. The Cougars were always screamers, man, the same as the old Thunderbirds. All right, I've had enough of you being in my face. Get back here. Yeah, that's right. Sit right there. My Cougar was a 289 car, but I put a 302 in it. About, let me see, I graduated in 87. The beginning of 1987, a rod through in the 289. No warning. Most amazing thing. Oil pressure was fine. It was running just fine. Just all of a sudden, um, and we were even in we were in traffic in that thing, um, scooting right at the speed limit. Just all of a sudden, that thing went boom, and white smoke billowed out the back of it. Just out of the clear blue, it threw that rod right through the side of the block, down through the oil pan, or clipped the top of the oil pan. Let's put it that way. And that was it. We stuck a 302 crate engine in it, um, and that's what I finished off 1987 with, was that 302. 302 was what my Fairlane had. I would have had, and since I would have put 390. The thing, mine just blew too, so the guy told me. It had 80,000 miles on it. I think mine was sitting at 60,000, right around there. It wasn't quite 65,000 yet. It's somewhere between 60 and 65,000. I don't remember. Way too long ago. But, yep, just out of the clear blue sky. No clue whatever happened to it. We never figured it out. Of course, the old man accused me of gunning it, and I'm like, how am I going to gun it with a semi in front of me and a tractor and a bunch of cars behind me? I mean, I got to keep up. I can't go through them. 302 I put in it had 99,000 on. Jeez, who criminy. Hmm. Would be a gas guzzler. The 65 Mustangs I had, first owner, put a 351 in it. Oh my God. But it was good. I knew the truck it came from. 351. My God. That thing would stand up on its hind legs, hop 3 times. As soon as the front legs hit the ground, it took off at a sprint. I remember the biggest motor I ever drove was in a 72 Ford LTD. Had a 429 in it. That was enough to scare me. That 429, my God, even a boat, even a land yacht like a 72 Ford LTD, um, you want to talk about some shit and get. You turn on a country road, hit the accelerator on that thing, and I mean, it didn't even hunker down like an old car did. This thing just took off. Even with all that body weight and all that steel in that thing, it would fly. And if you hit any uneven surfaces on the road, crossroads or something on a country road where you had a little bit of a hill there, you swear to God that thing would leave the ground. Had a 69 Merc Marquis 429 Interceptor. Bury the Speedo in second gear. Yeah, I miss driving. I was actually one of the wife's cousins, and her husband was over last week, and he used to build race cars for a lot of our short tracks around here. We have a few short tracks between um, southern Michigan here and the northern part of Indiana that some of our NASCAR drivers from back in the 90s, early 2000s, some of them used to race those tracks, and yeah, that's what he built race cars for. And we were actually sitting there talking. He said, well, if you ever got your eyesight back, would you consider driving again? And I'm like, no. No, I brake easier now than I did 30 years ago. No, no. Especially when it comes to demolition derbies and short ovals, let alone figure eights. have no clue how fast it would go. I think the fastest car I ever had was a 72 Charger with a 440 Magnum. God. You're a better man than me. Better man than me. You too, Templar. Have a good day, bud. Take care of yourself and don't work too awful hard. We'll catch you later, bud. I think it'd go above 160. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I had a little bit of security, a professionally built roll cage, you know, a real racing seat, 5-point harness, all the safety gear, I might consider it. But a garage built race car, um, no, no. I don't care to go that fast anymore. Quite honestly, like I said, I might try it once just for that thrill of doing it again. But as for doing it on a regular basis, I'm with you, Tony. You know, I don't have any desire to do that kind of thing. You know, a family man, I'm too old for that stuff. I mean, hell, the older we get, just getting out of bed in the morning is a risk. I don't think I want to put myself um, in harm's way. And verbs at 101, they are limited to 101. Wow. I didn't know Suburban would go that fast. I thought because of the sheer weight of a Suburban that they might top out at 70, 80 maybe. Unlimited to probably make 120, 130. That's a lot of weight to be driving down the road at speeds like that. That might uh, that might actually scare me into turtling. That 70 is running about 1900 RPM. Hmm. I heard this thing ding a second ago. I gotta check and see if they're calling me into work. I'm gonna get a little upset if they do, because they know I can't tell them no. Nope. Me, not you. Good morning. Hope you're doing well this morning. At 80, it seems like another car. At 50. Hmm. But yeah, gonna be another busy day today for me. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, why does it seem like we work harder at home than we do on our jobs? Not to mention, like I said, sometime today I would actually like to get out here in the yard and start working on this back fence to go across the property. And, well, surprise the wife. Cruise control is important on the Suburban, or I'd lose. Let's do the speeding tickets. Yeah. We don't want that to happen. Your poor wife wouldn't know what to do if she had to drive you everywhere. Speaking of your wife, is she looking forward to retirement yet? I mean, I know she. Oh, that's right, because you got to take her to work and stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I can't wait till you finally get to move down to your homestead. I think I'm looking as forward to that as you are. 55 degrees there. Right now it's 51 here. And we're looking at 67 now. They changed it. She's one that likes her job most days. I like mine most days too. Most days when I get to work, so I don't work as hard there as I do at home. So yeah, I like mine most days too. I will like mine 6 days this week. If I'm lucky, 7. When they install AC in the workplace, it'll get better in the summer. Yep. And like I said, it's hotter than hell back there. So I mean, when you walk into our kitchen, you've got a walk space between the big prep table and the front counter where we pass the food out, or the window from the kitchen to the dining area. And then on the other side of the prep table, you have, our big prep station where all the veggies and the meat and everything's kept. And then down at the very end of that, you've got the pizza station. Well, right beside the pizza station, you got a double double level pizza oven that runs 550 degrees all day long. And then right next to the pizza oven, you've got a 6 foot long grill that runs 380 degrees. And right next to that, you've got three deep fryers that run 350 degrees. So, regardless of where you're at back in that area, it's just hotter than hell. But that don't bother me. I like going in there. I like the customers. I like cooking all day long. Um, it's an enjoyable job. Good morning, Santee. Oh, you don't gotta worry about being late. You didn't miss much. We've been sitting here talking about cars and aging, the things we won't do now we used to do. You know, horse pucky like that. Morning fishing. Good to see you, bud. Man, I cannot believe it is almost 10 o'clock already. First time I've got to do a full stream in a long time, and it flew by. Oh, the paycheck is nice. I mean, you know, I got paid on Friday. The wife took my paycheck and put it in the bank this morning. Um, I work for the sole purpose of paying the mortgage on the house and the utilities and whatever's left over. I don't see any of my paycheck. It goes for food, it goes for utilities, it goes for the mortgage. The only money I get are my donations on here and whatever tips I make at the bar, which, believe me, isn't a lot. I think I made a total of $7 last week, and I think I made $10 the week before that. So, but hey, it's a job. Keeps me from sitting around the house getting older. That's where all mine goes. I try to keep a little for hookers and blow, or a little bit for hookers that do blow. I need an old west show in Arizona where I can park my tractor trailer. A place to park it, give it a rest, and a place that entertains you. You're dry when it rains, and you're not wasting away to nothing. So don't forget exactly. I'm taking today and tomorrow off. My birthday's tomorrow. Sold a machine, North Dakota Friday last week for 452K, so I'm done for the month. Good job, man. Good job. Happy birthday, by the way, Paul. That's very cool. Birthday's tomorrow. You're going to be what? 32? 33? 34? Okay. There you go. Ah, young whippersnapper. My friend lives in Tombstone, but he won't pick me up. Go figure. All my kids are older than him. My boys are 33 and 34, so don't feel like the Lone Ranger, man. Don't feel like the Lone Ranger. I'll be 55 in what, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. So yeah, 34, but it feels like I'm going on 97. That's how I felt sitting around the house before I got a chance to go back to work. That's how I felt. I mean, I sat in this studio 10 or 12 hours a day, cleaned the house, done the dishes, mopped the floors, worked in the yard, and I still felt like I could sit there and feel um, like I could feel my arteries hardening, like I was just petrifying. Oh yeah, work has definitely helped me feel younger. Being up there around folks. I mean, even though we have a lot of customers that come in that are, 10, 20 years older than I am. Um, Going up there and working, moving, proving to myself that I could do it again after almost a decade of not being at work, definitely makes me feel younger. Hey, Kyle, good to see you, bud. Good way to squeak in there right at the end. We got about a minute left, man. How you doing? I'm fit as a fiddle and ready to sing, bud. Drew needs to get his CDL. Drew can't drive anymore. Drew is legally blind in this eye, and I do believe that glaucoma is starting to take this one. So, yeah, Drew don't drive anymore. So a CDL is kind of sorta out of the question. Nobody wants a half blind guy driving um, a missile that weighs that many tons down the interstate at 70 mile an hour. Oh, but as of right now, Drew is not working today, so I'm going to have a chance to scamper around and catch up on some of the videos I've missed over the last couple weeks. Um, I just come off what, 13 days straight at work, so I'm going to catch up on a few of those videos in between doing the little things around here that the wife wants me to do today. Um, so be looking for messages on some of y'all's videos that you put up recently. But it is that time. I see everybody. It is time for some grits. There you go. But you guys all take care. Have a great day. If you are working, don't work too awful hard. If you're not working, enjoy the hell out of it. But then go get dog tags. I just found one of my dog tags yesterday. Oh, wait, you mean for your dogs? Oh, yeah. Yep, trees are starting to lighten up a little bit. They're just starting to change color. Not quite all the way there yet, but starting to. Yeah, for the mutts. You love those dogs, I swear to God. But all right, guys, I'm getting out of here, and it's squirrel camo time. Yep, it is. But yep, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm still planning on being on here on Friday morning. Um, even if it's just for an hour or so. I'm still planning on being on here on Friday morning. So until then, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. We do. And we'll catch y'all here in a few days. Y'all take care.